Welcome back to It Tastes Like Burning. This is Matt.
This is Jesse.
And as the usual, if you ever feel like you have questions, concerns, comments, interest, queries, or interjections, you can always find us at ittasteslikeburningcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon at It Tastes Like Burning Cast. You can always find us on YouTube if you ever really want to enhance your viewing pleasure to stare at one picture for hours at a time at It Tastes Like Burning Cast, and always check out for links and descriptions and everything in the comments section or whatever we link to it.
Right. Yeah. So you might still be able to get that hat or t-shirt in time for Christmas. That is a possibility. I think that those will deliver if they're ordered within the next week or two. I was just looking, it was November 10th was the last time we published an episode. We're running behind. We've both been extremely busy, running around like chickens with our heads cut off.
Oh, that scared me for a second because I literally thought we were in December already.
We're close.
So, okay.
Monday is December.
Well, we have gigantic, most important celebratory news for today. Because no one celebrates their 101st episode.
Because we're idiots.
We are. Hooray. Yay us.
Yeah. That 100th episode just...
No one cares about
right
that.
By us.
It's the 101st.
Well, this is the new chapter, right? This is the beginning of the second 100th episode.
Yes. I like that.
Yeah. It's there's a glass. There's one that's half full, one that's half empty, and then there's just a glass, right?
And there's the one we drank out of.
Yeah. So, 100 episodes. Does it feel like it?
No. I'll ask you right now. Name 5 things we talked about in 100 episodes. Go.
I can easily. So we've talked about marketing several times.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about recruiting a lot. We've talked about cancer. We've talked about PTSD and stress and mental welfare of our members. We've talked about SOPs and SOGs. We've talked about apparatus. We've talked about a myriad of things. We've talked about being in the public eye and what that entails and kind of putting yourself out there for others to kind of either take from or judge, right?
Yep. Politics, PR, SOPs, SOGs, articles, constitution, bylaws, insurance.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah.
Training. A little more training.
Young guys and their endeavors.
Couple of guests in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I mean, it's been a blast doing this for, I guess March will be 3 years.
Oh, no, I can't answer that.
I do believe March will be 3 years. The 26th, I know, is the anniversary date because that's my daughter's birthday, and that's when we published for the first time. It's either 3 or 4 years.
We'll go 3.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we started this little journey.
It's a shot.
Yeah, there's a global reach. I mean, there's some people in some stand countries that are downloading this for whatever reason. They may be using it for some nefarious activities. They may be trying to learn English from my redneck ass. That's the one I hope for, right? Or they may just be bots. I don't have any idea. But there is a global reach. There's a lot of folks that listen. We get some feedback periodically. There is some diehard fans out there, which is weird.
I do wish that we had more people reach out to us. That is one thing that I kind of figured we'd have more of, and we actually don't. So if you've ever had a burning question or ever wanted to be on the podcast, by all means, don't hesitate to reach out.
Or just tell us we're idiots.
Or that.
I'll take that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Have no problem with it.
The advantage of being the broken clock.
You're right twice a day.
You know it. So, I kind of have an idea what we want to talk about, but before we do that, do you want to dive off into anything?
I mean, we can talk about the happenings. Let's go ahead and celebrate this 101st episode, which is a milestone. And by the way, it's the start of the second 100. We determined.
Yes.
Yeah. When we get to the 201st episode, we'll make sure to do this again, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, or should it be the 202nd?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And 303rd.
Yes. That's how you do it properly.
Cheers. So, little Jameson Black Barrel there. Excellent.
Arguably, dollar for dollar, one of the best choices on the market.
Yes, definitely is. So, other than happenings,
well, we've
what do you
been
got?
busy.
Yeah, we've both been real busy. We've been past. It's kind of like, you know, when you're having hall sex, and you just yell "fuck you" as you pass by each other in the hall. It's been about like that. You know, it's just been, our paths have not crossed a lot in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
And it's not because of work. Like, that's the stupid part.
The work's played into it. It's life, work, busy, just
the department's busy though.
Busy. There's
I mean,
a lot going on.
We had 80 calls last month.
179.
So
that's for perspective. I know departments that have that many in a year.
Right.
Locally. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have new trucks coming in. We have new trucks to build. We have new trucks to propose. We've got stations that are theoretically coming and being built. And then I would argue that we live in the most politically divisive county in the world, at least in Texas. I think at this point we could give Chicago a run for its money.
Yeah, no, it's its own special kind of awesomeness. Our local politics.
Yeah. It's really bad.
Bad. And it bleeds over into everything, right? It just, they're so divisive. And we've had this conversation, like, we are in the heart of the conservative kind of capital of Texas, right?
I also like to think of this as the western anchor point of the beginning of the Bible Belt.
Yeah, we're right there. So
in a town of 12,000 people, 13.9 square miles, there's 97 churches.
Right. Super ultra conservative voters.
Evangelical conservative Christian.
And because there's a lack of the liberal side of things, right? That they tend to eat their own.
Right. And just for kind of comparison, and I know my numbers are going to be a little rough here, but just in the last 25 years, because I looked this up once, George Bush won Hood County, I think, by like 86 or 87% in 2000. And then I think it was 91%. And then McCain won Hood County in the 92-3 percentile. Mitt Romney, I think, was in the high 80s. Trump won in the high 80s. Trump won again in the very high 90s. And then in the most recent election, Trump won again, I think, at 91 or 92%. So, like, when I tell you that we are skewed Republican, it's a red county, hard and heavy. And one of the battles that we deal with, and I talk to our local leaders and our politicians, and I always make this joke. I always tell them there's nothing fiscally conservative about being in the position of running a government. There's nothing fiscally conservative about that, because at the end of the day, the whole purpose of a government is to spend money. And like I said, it's a joke. It's just a joke. It's just so I can kind of have a little barb and poke at them a little bit. Um, if you're a local and you live in Hood County, you would think that you live in Manhattan. But at the end of the day, we have some of the lowest taxes in the United States. Um, and we have a lot, a lot of luxury built into our organization, oddly enough, because the tax rate's so low. Because we do make the good arguments for the justification of the expenditures into the organization. The irony in this is that it makes a population and a local political leadership that is exceedingly adverse to ESDs.
Yeah.
And when I say adverse, I'm talking about like taking a fresh baby diaper and like smashing it on someone's face adverse.
We've seen seats overturned for half a penny. We've seen just the myriad of just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a city council member almost lose, and I mean almost lose, for supporting the fire department and going from a 38-cent tax rate to a 38.5-cent tax rate. And he's arguably the nicest, most non-controversial, very agreeable, like everyone likes this guy and they should, uh, city council member. And he almost got destroyed for half a cent.
Yeah.
It was a total tax revenue of 200,000, I think.
Yeah. And just, but on the same token, we just saw a couple of bonds pass for roads and jails, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's such a volatile, just the whole landscape of it's so volatile that it's so hard to truly engage with any of it because it's you don't know where it's going to go.
Well, it's terrifying because the problem is that particularly the mudslinging that's happening local, it's so vitriol and it's so aggressive. And I mean, don't like underplay me being dramatic there. Like you could tell someone to have a nice day and then be accused of public rape.
Yeah.
It's that bad. And it's a difficult climate to operate in when you have someone like me who's telling you to engage in politics.
Yeah.
Well, there's a whole new layer to this right now. And it's just because at the end of the day, there is no Democrats or liberals in our county. The Republicans have got to beat up on someone, and they're beating up on their own.
Yeah. They
really hard.
Eat their own.
They really do. I mean, Daddy's grabbed his tomahawk and he's going to town.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yep. I make the joke that I'm waiting for us to start burning women at the stake on the courthouse lawn. Like that's where I think we're going. The Puritans are gonna be here.
Yeah. I have another joke that I won't make here because I even think even in our vast podcast audience, I think it's
offensive,
a bit too much. But it is. It's really difficult. And the kicker is that as difficult it is for us, I mean, to a certain extent, you got to think about your political guys too. Like, if it's that hard for a VFD to operate right now publicly, imagine what it's like sitting in these positions on city council, city management, city mayor, county judge, county commissioner, county clerk, county on and on. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You have really good people that are getting just raked through the coals on the political side right now.
For no good reason. Or a good reason. Who knows?
Yeah. And that's a unique thing going on right now. Why are we talking about this? Well, we're talking about this because I don't know how we got so stupidly lucky. We have so much big, awesome, incredible, huge, monumental things coming up over this next year. And the funny thing is that we sat down as officers and talked kind of like what we had coming down the pike for next year. And we sat down and made a list, and there's probably 25 things on this
Yeah.
list. And arguably 20 of them, any single chief would call a legacy event for them. Like they would hang their hat on that one thing and call it a career. And we've got 20 of them that we have to do, 10 of them that we have to do in 1 year. And it's just business.
Yeah. No, it's to say it's a lot's an understatement, right? It's
Yeah.
monumental. It's an insane amount of stuff that has to be tended to. And I think that sometimes we, even when we look at these big giant lists like that, we tend to underestimate what it actually takes to get some of this stuff done.
Oh, big time. That and here's the path to hell on this is assuming that you're going to be able to command and drive it all through by yourself.
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
not a thing.
like not only is this not a one person event, this is barely enough. We barely have enough people with having 100
Yeah,
to be
I
able
think
to
we're
tackle
actually
this
down.
event.
We probably dipped below that 100 just a touch. Of course, it's just that time of year, right?
Well, it's that, but we've also not been
We've tightened up.
truly recruiting hard.
No, we haven't done that in over a year. Well over a year.
But that's a different discussion.
Yeah, and arguably, you you shouldn't just go that hard all the time, right?
No, no, there's a certain point where we had so many new people, it was also absurd and a gigantic pain in the ass and kind of kind of the classic have the tiger by the tail. No, you actually have it by the ears.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh
And
and it's
maybe by
eating
the
you.
teeth.
Yeah, and it's eating you. Um there is a saturation point to too many new people. Um
Yeah, we've tickled that a wee bit.
our our advantage is, and we were kind of at breakfast. No, not kind of. We were at breakfast today. We were talking about this. And for whatever reason, our membership is insane enough to want to make the organization better.
Fools.
Yeah, idiots, absolute lemmings.
Yeah.
Uh, and the only reason that what we're talking about is remotely possible is because at the end of the day, me, and I would argue this is our superhuman superpower, is especially for me, is that when I hand a project off, I'm exit stage left.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, you said you got it, buddy. It's yours.
Yeah.
Now, do not think that you can't call me for help, but I will also expect you to call for help. Like that's the way. This is our Faustian deal. This is what we agreed on. I'm going to leave you alone, but you're going to do it. That's the deal.
And sometimes that project that you inherit, you get to inherit it because you were within striking distance when it came up, right?
Right. Or you were foolish enough to volunteer for it.
Yeah.
Not knowing it how terrible of a project that is.
Yeah. I pulled that here recently with Fleck.
Yes.
I think he did a mighty fine job.
There at the very, very end, I was kind of worried because I talked to him and he had a pretty small group of people. And I'm like, holy Christ, here's some phone numbers. You need to call all of these other people too.
Yeah. Well, part of it too is he had numbers that was given to him by the production staff.
Right.
And he didn't he played to those numbers, and I don't think he had contingency in there.
No. No. And that's just kind of the weirdness of Granbury is, I mean, I don't know. Let's just talk about briefly the last 2 weeks. I mean, we met with the city about a new truck. We're going to call it an emergency new truck, but it's not an emergency. We just had an incredible gift given to us through a grant. The city wasn't prepared to make this purchase, so we had to have that discussion. You know, it wasn't a capital project, wasn't outlined. Uh, and then the next day I had to work, and Jesse got to enjoy attending a city discussion about building a new station that's combo between fire and EMS. And then Friday, Jesse, being the true schmuck or good Samaritan that he is, jury's still out on that.
Schmuck.
He got to go to a meeting with the city about engineering on our training field and a big project that we have going there. And then I was busy with an EMS conference all week or weekend, and then I had to be in the Panhandle,
the North Pole.
And there's something else that I had last week. I don't even remember what the hell that was. Both of us had 2 meetings.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the hell mine was. You went to 3 of the 4, and I went to 2 of the 4.
Yeah, and then I had another little side meeting over there with the county fire marshal. Some IT issues.
But yeah, I mean, that's just our end. I mean, if I just talked about the battalion chiefs and the captains and the lieutenants and then the firefighters, yeah, it'd take all day to go through just last week.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know. I think there was, in that same time, there was at least 2 or 3 different events, public events that happened, maybe 4. Yeah, just stuff constantly.
Oh, the meeting I had with the emergency management coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And quite frankly, yeah, we did it to ourselves, but it's also what it takes for our organization to be able to only maintain, but also grow and develop.
Right.
And it kind of goes to, I've always historically struggled with when someone asks this question, why are you volunteer? Well, the real question is why do you volunteer? And it's taken me 5 damn years to ultimately figure out the appropriate response to it. I still think this came from you, Jesse. I think you're the one that made this statement. And if not, you're the one that's going to get credit for it.
I do make profound statements or profane, one or the other. I'm not sure.
They're hard to tell the difference between the two. But every now and then, when you dig to the deepest part of the dumpster,
blend them.
Yeah, that's the trick. If you dig to the deepest part of the dumpster, you will find gold.
Yeah.
It is down there.
I was digging for it in my nose.
Oh, well, or somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you found it.
But that was shitty.
And I mean, it's real simple. When someone trying to explain why do you do a volunteer fire department, why participate with it? Here's the response. And I'm telling you, this is a universal boomerang because it absolutely, completely takes them out of their element when you make this statement. I volunteer for my community in the fire department for the same reason that you go across the street and mow the lawn of that little old widow. Because I can and because I should. Now, the beauty of that statement is that no one actually takes care of their neighbors anymore.
Right.
And it really puts it in a completely different perspective where they have to realize that you're doing this entirely selflessly and for the betterment of the community. Not because you're getting paid for it, not because you have to, but simply because you can. And it does. It owns this entire conversation. And for those other departments that are struggling trying to justify why you're volunteer, or you're having a hard time trying to justify uh, your big VFD, that statement, I do it because I can, because someone needs to and someone should, and I want to.
Yeah.
And it does. It completely derails that conversation. And it immediately just puts you in a position of a different perspective when you're talking to that individual.
Yeah. And you've got to do a good job with it, right? You can't just be lackadaisical. It can't be, oh shucks, that was good enough. We're just volunteers, right? You got to constantly increase the capabilities, the preparedness, the abilities, the all those things have to continually climb the hill and get better and better and better.
Yeah, well, it's the classic discussion that we've had for a long time. Are you a good old boys club? You know, what are you actually doing? I truly believe this. The vast, vast, vast majority of volunteer departments legitimately make their best effort for the community and for their citizens.
Right.
Is there an occasional one that is like a good old boys club?
Yes.
Yes. Does that accusation get thrown around way too much?
On every one of them.
Every single one of them. Okay. But the fact of the matter is that the people that are on those departments, particularly the chiefs, they happen to understand a little bit more about the organization and its operation than the vast majority of even their own membership, much less the community. And to kind of double down on this statement, I will say this. At the end of the day, the one thing about firefighting that makes it unique is that it's entirely dependent upon the team, a cohesive team.
Yeah.
So even if you have the best thing since holes in Swiss cheese, they are the most capable, competent, brilliant person on the face of the earth. The fact of the matter is that if they can't get along with the other members on the department, I would argue they need to go.
Yeah. The other kind of part of that is I think that the membership in general tends to stay oblivious to certain aspects of it.
Yeah, well, it's the classic frog in a cold pot of water
Right.
that's on a boil.
Yeah, I think that as much as leadership can be oblivious to certain things, I think the membership can be even more oblivious to just like the political aspect of it that we were talking about earlier. You know, the average member in our department knows that they see all kinds of stuff on Facebook, but they don't understand the implications that has towards funding or anything that may be going on in the department or with the department, right?
Right. Then multiply it by the current political climate.
Right. I think that's to me that's a scary place when the naivety of that doesn't play. That's not a factor for us. If those words are uttered, that's pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it is, because it's you can't, number one, you can't back the wrong horse, so you got to back no horse, right?
Right.
But you've got to keep it amicable all the way around, and that's straight politics.
Yeah, I would argue that is the one thing that's truly unique to our organization. I like to think it's true for any VFD, but particularly our organization, like your political game, you better have it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you need to be the Michael Jordan of politics, but this classic obstinate, I don't do politics, not here. Like, that is a path to hell.
Yeah, not anywhere that's successful, right?
You better figure it out. Quite honestly, the way I baby seal club that conversation is, Chief, how'd you get elected? Political. That's how you got elected. You had to run for the position. People had to vote for you. So don't sit there and and downplay something that's as critical as the politics are for this position. And that's assuming that everything's hunky dory.
Yeah.
I assure you, have a major trial that involves your department. Have a fatality with your organization. Have a member get hurt. You'll learn real quick.
Yeah. I think sometimes we catch some heat for putting for I, I don't even want to bragging is what it being braggadocious, but I think if we're not celebrating the victories of the individual members and putting it out there, the good things, like the bad things will overtake.
Sure.
Right.
Again, particularly because of our political climate,
Right.
where
Because
it's so
it
divisive.
Doesn't have to be true.
Right.
For it to be negative. Right.
Right.
Right. The truth is the perception of the truth. And if enough people say you're garbage, well, guess what? You're garbage, whether you are or not, whether it's true or not. And you've got to more or less celebrate those victories of the good things that happen, and be accountable for the bad things that happen.
Right.
So that there is an even keel and a way to separate the wheat from the shaft on that, right? I think that's super important. I know that we catch a lot of heat from our neighbors that we we're just touting this and we're touting that. Well, we did that. We, the department, did these things, right? These things are to be celebrated. They're not just little feats. We didn't manage to fill the truck back up with water. We did things.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'll be petty on this. They're just jealous.
Oh, no, it comes from that, right?
Yeah. That's all it is.
It comes from that. I think sometimes people look at it like you're not supposed to do that. Like,
right.
Oh, you have no right to be proud of your people. I have every right to be proud of our people. I think it's very important that we're proud of our people. That's a none of them came here to do it for awards and accolades, self included.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, because that's far and few between. But when they do something that's worthy or has that thing, we should celebrate that. We should mark that one up as, hey, that was a good thing, right? Because I assure you, the world's not looking to make that mark for you.
Right. Yeah, there's it goes back to something that we've kind of talked about a lot, where using a very dirty word, progressive.
Yeah.
And ultimately trying to grow your organization. I can assure you it's 10 times easier to grow the organization when the vast majority of people beneath us who are doing this colossal amount of work actually get credit for it.
And are appreciated for it, right?
Right.
Yeah. That goes a long way. And there's some organizations that have, we talk about culture and stuff like that. There's some organizations that have pretty impressive cultures that are built on what they would consider to be a progressive stance, right?
Right.
That could potentially be reckless stance, right? They're I saw an ad that says for a hiring process that says 2 in, 2 out, never heard of it, right? And these things are kind of scary and the reality of it, because somebody was willing to put that out there, that hell damn be the standards and the rules. We're going to do what we want to do.
Well, there is a difference between being edgy and being progressive.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't we just go get the horses back?
Yeah, we can do that.
Get a boiler.
No, it's hand pump.
We don't want to make it too easy.
Yeah. Hand pump.
Yeah, I think there's a million different ways to make your organization successful. You don't have to be a behemoth to be really successful. You can be 50, 100 calls a year and have an average age of 70 and still be a really, really successful VFD.
Yeah.
Like, find your purpose, find your niche, find what you're really good at, and run with it.
Some of the things that are funny, I do spend some time on the MVFC forum.
I want to. I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I really don't either, but I'm obligated to. Uh, and I enjoy it. But there's been a couple of really weird conversations on there. One was about gas versus electric chainsaws, and it's crazy to see how people are so divisive on something that I see as like, yeah, there's purpose for both, right? This is a common ground deal. But there's folks that are just like, nah, them batteries are dangerous. And then there's guys that are like, I pulled that rope until my arm came out of socket. I don't know how it won't work, right? And it's something as stupid as this chainsaw and two different fuel sources that just creates this tension that happens in the fire service. It's truly weird. Now is the DeWalt battery chainsaw the perfect thing for felling a giant sequoia?
Probably not.
Right. Yeah, definitely not, right? Is it good enough to cut some sheetrock and maybe a little bit of lathing? Probably so, right? It's kind of what tool's better for the job. We don't attack everything's an if your only tool is a hammer, everything's a nail. Is that how it goes?
You look at everything like a nail.
Yeah. I'd rather have a screwdriver and a hammer.
Yeah. I think the American Fire Service is not nearly in deepest trouble as that it's made out to be. And I say that because our organization keeps having young man and woman after young man and woman keep applying.
And one happened about 7 minutes ago.
We have another one.
Yeah.
So, like, I was talking to a guy the other day that just moved into the area, financial planner.
That's him.
Okay, same guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I talked to him on the phone. He's not old. Like, I can already tell you that. So, fact, I'm trying to think in the last 2 years, we voted on one old guy.
Yeah.
We voted on one old guy.
And he's a mascot.
Yes. Then the next oldest would have been, he's just a year older than me. And then everyone else is younger. And I'm 42. And there's not many 32 to 40-year-olds in there, maybe one or two. The other 25 are under the age of 32.
Yeah. And I'm officially old.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm in the downhill pool. I could have minutes left for all I know.
There's a difference between what you know and what you want.
Yeah. Literally. On the back end of things.
I think we should all be grateful for what we have, no matter how big or small, or no matter how rich or broke you are, because you have the opportunity, if you're a chief listening, to be able to lead, guide, and direct an organization in a modern age, in a time when particularly what your organization offers to your members and prospective members and your community are invaluable.
Yeah.
And if you're a new firefighter, to be able to come out and prove that the next generation up is actually beyond capable and truly has exciting things in their near and distant futures. And I don't know of a time in the fire service when I would argue that the future hasn't been so bright.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's a whole world of possibilities out there.
You just got to be brave or stupid enough to try something new.
Yeah.
And see what's out there.
Yeah, be brave enough to put yourself out there.
Where are we at on time?
About 43 in, minus maybe 5 or 6 minutes at the beginning.
Let's keep it there.
Yeah, sounds good.
You got any last? Nothing?
Another 100 to go?
101.
Yeah.
Here's to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, woo. Before we get out of here, we do appreciate everyone. We'll probably try and have one more podcast before the end of the year. Again, the next couple of months are pretty busy. A couple of weeks is also pretty busy for us.
We've also recruited a potential producer, videographer. We've just got to make our schedules coincide where we might can get to a video based at some point down the road.
Yeah, make that a thing.
Make that a thing, because honestly, we suck at it. So
yeah,
that is a thing to maybe look forward to. In fact, if you think it's something you'd like, let us know.
Yeah, be interested.
Yep.
If you ever want to reach out to us, you can find us and ask us questions at ittasteslikeburningcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon at ittasteslikeburningcast. You can find us on YouTube at ittasteslikeburningcast. And always check out the links in the comments and description of the video. Yep. This is Matt.
This is Jesse.
Have a good evening.